to the Lowdown Mortgage Podcast, the show where we dive deep into the topics that directly impact the evolving originator. I'm your host, Connor Bartley. Bam! And joining me today is someone who's built her career by leaning into consistency, relationships, and a clear sense of what actually matters day to day. She brings a thoughtful, grounded perspective shaped by years in the mortgage business and a strong focus on sustainable growth. Melissa Landon, welcome to the Lowdown.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have the conversation. It's been great getting to know you kind of leading up to this and learning a little bit more about your business and kind of your arc in the in this career. And I just want to get things started kind of with an easy one, right? Like when you think back to your early years in the mortgage business, what did you initially believe that success looked like, and how has that definition changed as you've matured in your,
Oof.
maybe not an easy one, sorry.
They're easy ones. When I started originating, it was 5 years ago. So the success for me was based off of the numbers behind you, right? And if you were on the top of the charts, if you got all these fun, fancy other side of me, all these fun, fancy, all over, awards and in the magazines. And that was what I measured success by. And like over the past couple of years, my theory of that has changed dramatically.
Yeah, I think it's great that that does happen for us, where success is different and it's different for everyone. Clearly, being on the leaderboard and getting the trophies and the acknowledgement, that's great. But there are other times where we're valuing more time at home or being able to take that vacation. And success is not always just about the number of points on the board. So, what would you say success is for you today?
So we're going to clarify. We love the awards, right? You like your name up on the leaderboard. You like the shout outs, the end of the year when you won the trips, you did this stuff because it also means you're good at your job.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, we do like that. But the way I measure success at the end of the year or going into a new year, I think you and I chat about this before. They're like, okay, what are your numbers? Like you meet with your management team, and I was like, you can say whatever you want, 100 million, 300 million. Like, because that to me is not where I measure my success. For me, differently is continuing with having solid partnerships, being able to actually help people buy houses and build generational wealth, being able to do all of that and not miss a beat here at home. I have 4 kids and a husband. So the way I measure success is that everybody around me is great. Right. My kids are great. My husband is great. My clients are all doing well, thriving. My team is doing well and thriving. And for me, so it's not necessarily the numbers behind us anymore, it is just your reputation, maybe.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I mean, the more I talk to high producing originators, there's a mindset that they begin to realize of the impact that they're making, not just locally in their own like small bubble of just themselves, but on the members of their team, the referral partners that they're doing business with, of course, their clients. And so there's so many other people that are impacted by the work that you're doing. And it seems like there's a moment in time where there's a shift between it's less about the income and now it's more about the impact because the income follows the impact.
Right.
And if you're focusing on making more impact, then, that's where you start to see like real tremendous growth and things. So it's great to
And you
hear
have to
you.
have personal growth. I had a lot of personal growth over the past couple of years. We had a lot of personal stuff go down in my house where I had to really like dig deep and be like, who am I? Who do people perceive me to be? And a lot of it I didn't really like. So I was like, oh boy, this is not who I want to be. So I shifted a lot of that too, and making sure that I was making genuine contacts with my referral partners, right, and being there for them and my family and my team, right. My team depends on me. We brought a couple new loan officers, so trying to teach them. But also this year, well, last year, because I did a new coaching program last year. We'll give Cindy Ertman a huge shout out. If you don't know who she is, you should know who she is.
Yeah, she's
But
great.
she taught me, and everyone on her and her that does her coaching, is I can't grow my team, I can't grow my business if my health and my mindset are not in a sync. We spend a lot of time on making sure that you're making healthy choices. You're spending time, reading the books and being there for yourself and taking the time for yourself. Because if I'm drained, if I'm physically drained, mentally drained, I can't be there for everyone else in my life that depends on me.
Yeah. And a lot of that comes down to like setting boundaries and being really intentional about how you use your time. So, like, what parts of your week or your weekly routine would you say are non-negotiable? And how did you sort of pick and choose what those were going to be and what really mattered?
Can you repeat the question? No. So we learned how to time block. I learned how to time block. I had to figure out where I was losing hours in the day, not just like, doom scrolling, because that is where you lose hours in the day, but time blocking in the morning, making sure I got up earlier in the morning. So I had my time for myself, whether that's working out or your daily devotional or your meditation, whatever works for you. I did that. And then just making sure that I was time blocking my activities, my past client activities, reaching out to my current referral partners, clients that were in process. So time blocking was something that has become a non-negotiable for me. I don't do anything else in that time. I don't even respond to text messages or answer my phone during that time, which is different for me because we were always taught you answer the phone, which I do. So you can call me and I will, but I kind of screen them a little bit, especially during my time blocking, because then you don't get the things done that you needed to get done first thing in the morning because you dive right in. I have people that don't even read emails. That's harder for me to do. I at least make sure there's nothing urgent, and then I go into my time blocking activities, and those vary from day to day depending on what I'm.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, when you build those boundaries and make those non-negotiable choices, now you've got, the task at hand. And kind of to your point about answering the phone, we've talked about this with other guests before, where you can get into a task and then you get distracted by this call and that text message and that email. And so if you're not like blocking out the distractions, it's very hard to get that one original task finished because it seems like you're always starting over when you get back to it after you've dealt with this thing or that thing or the other. So I think that's a great call out on just, how to kind of guide your
When
day.
we were taught, right, which everyone is, you answer your phone because you never know. Well, now you don't want to answer your phone because it's always your car warranty is expiring. Mine is my loan is in underwriting. I don't have a loan in underwriting. So it's half the time you're just so I screen them and see what it is. If it's important and I'm the only one that can answer it, then I will do it. But a lot of times it's something simple too that like I can forward over to one of the LOs on my team or my production manager or one of them can handle it for me. So then it doesn't interfere with, let's say the new approval or the closing I have or something that again I was working on. Cause that I get scatterbrained. The older I get, like I had to get a watch that I couldn't read my text messages on because I would be talking, read the text message, and then keep talking, and I would forget to respond. So I had to get
Yeah.
a Garmin. So I can't see it. So then, because I was doing too many things at once, and then none of them were getting my full attention.
Yeah, yeah, which is a great reminder to anybody who's ever been ghosted or felt that way. It's not always that they meant to do it. It was, there was a distraction and this or that or the other thing. So it's not always by design. So how are you like evaluating opportunities as they come up now? Because, with success comes, different opportunities, different doors start to open. How do you know what's worth a yes versus what's going to be a distraction?
That's a hard one. I'm such a yes girl. I mean, I'm such a can you come do this? Can you help do this? Can you sponsor this? We have that. I'm not the greatest person to ask that. I'm trying to get better at not being the yes person, but I'm still very much a yes person. So it depends on what you're asking of me too. Um, and if it's worth my time, a lot of it is worth your time. That was not a great. I know it's not a great response.
It's all good. We can move on. It's okay. I mean, hey, we're all there's always room for improvement, works in progress, right?
So, I
Um,
mean, that's some of what I do too is then I try to evaluate it. So if it's something, let's say it's a, hey, I want to do these quarterly events. We do them and we look back and see if they were beneficial. Or we want to host first time homebuyer classes online. Absolutely. Here's a handful of different variations of one that we done. Let's pick it. And we do it. Most of them you have to do something more than once, right? Like postcard mailers are big right here in Northern Virginia. But that's something that you have to commit to before you can. Was it really worth our time? Was it really worth our money? So most of it will say, okay, in 3 months, we're going to evaluate. Did that make sense? Was that worth it? Did we get the buyers to show up to the home buyer classes? Okay, so let's try virtually doing them or doing them on weekends versus midday. So that's of it. Just a lot of it's trial and errors. Is it worth your time or not? Because we all know where you can't go exercise one time and be skinny, or we would all be skinny. Like that would be my dream. So a lot of what I do here is depending on again who it is and what we're doing, but a lot of it is repetition, consistency. Okay, do we need to shift, do something different? which I evaluate with my referral partners every 6 months or so. Like, okay, did that make sense? Should we pivot to something else? Do we continue to do it? Is it worth our time? Like I said, time, energy, money. Are we reaping the benefits from it?
Yeah. So you're meeting with your referral partners every 6 months and just kind of doing like a business review, or how do those meetings typically go?
So I try to call them every other week, give or take. I mean, a lot of them I have deals with, so I talk to them frequently. We're just not talking about the future. We're talking about current. It is something in 2026. This is one of the things I'm implementing to be better at is intentionally making sure I'm asking them like, are not like just so much are like we good, but what are you seeing in the market? What are you doing? Like, again, if we do have postcards going or classes going or just different, we do lots of different marketing with different referral partners because everyone has a different trend or a different, I don't know what you call it, mojo, whatever. Everyone has something different that they like to do. But I do like to check in this year. I was going to do something like more of quarterly. Okay. Like the last 3 to 6 months, how's it looking? How are you doing? Cause the market's changing so much, right? Everyone was like, oh, it's going to be a buyer's market. But now, I mean, I had buyers right over the weekend and only one won. We're coming back to multiple offer situation. I don't know if it's I'm in Northern Virginia, so whoever's watching somewhere else, it could be different. But so I am trying to stay in front of them more frequently, just so we're all on the same page of what's going on. How can I help you? Was what we're doing working? Should we shift? And obviously touch base on current clients that we have.
Yeah. So as your business has grown, has anything sort of presented itself to you as like a constraint or like a bottleneck that was just sort of affecting your energy and your focus? And if so, like how did you deal with that so that it wouldn't be that drag on you?
I'm gonna answer that as a no, not yet. I mean, because what you're measuring success is maybe different than I'm measuring success. Like I feel like even when I was just doing a handful of closings a month, that was very successful for me. So even if you cut my production from that I did last year in half, it would still be very successful for me, right? Like I helped a lot of people buy a house. So, but as we get, let's just say, as my team gets busier, we put different systems in play that help us continue to give the same level of service. Because for me, is like if you're closing, 10 million or 100 million a year, like, you want to make sure that no one knows the difference. You're giving your clients, your referral partners, the same level of service, no matter how busy we are or how slow we are. So, I mean, that's for me, it was different. I mean, there obviously are some things I can no longer do anymore. Like I can't go to every single open house on the weekend. I know that's a big thing for some realtors, but I did just add a new brand new junior to my team. So if you do need her, she will be there. So some of those things I had to give up, but I still try to do all the things that are asked of me.
Yeah.
Which is
Well, I
why I have
love
a
the
team, which gives us the ability, right, to do this with you, and I don't have to worry. Like I'm on Do Not Disturb. They're all answering the phone. They're all sending any estimates, anything that's important. I like to give a lot of credit to my team because I couldn't do anything without my team. They, in
yeah.
fact, know more than I do on certain things.
Well, I love that we're kind of having this conversation with you sort of mid-evolution because like you're starting to grow the team, you're starting to say no to some things and delegate to others and hire a junior that could do open houses and things like that. Like when did you start to realize it was time to start adding to your team and how do you know what jobs to start sort of delegating?
So I was lucky when I got in the business that I was part of a team. So I by default had his team. If that makes sense. So I didn't know any different. I didn't know any different of like I have to do the I had to do all of it on my own because by default of being on his team, I reaped the benefits of his production assistant, his LOAs, his processors, all of that. And then they have now become my team. He has since, gone somewhere else and they stayed and they're my team. We have tweaked it a little bit as we've gotten busier. I can't do everything. So I delegate to them different tasks. Does that make sense? Like I try to talk to every single buyer that comes through here, whether it's on the phone, virtually, Zoom, some of it's text message. I do a lot of military, a lot of overseas. And then I have different team members that come in and help through the process because I can't do it all myself from beginning to end. So we just, as we've gotten busier, we evaluate too. Like, okay, I need now, Rachel's she's my right hand up front. I'm like, I need more help sending out refi estimates because we had a big influx of those, and I can't do all those myself. So she's very capable. And before, I would have never. I very much thought I had to do all of it myself. Again, Cindy Ertman was like, no, no, we delegate. That's why we have a team. So we all pull together. We team meet twice a week. So we're all on the same page of this is what we're doing to make sure, again, we don't miss a beat. Customers don't know if we're doing 10 million or 100 million. They would know no different.
Yeah. And so now you've mentioned Cindy now twice, and
I
so
love her.
I clearly a great influence on you. When did you start getting into the coaching world, and how have things changed for you since you started being coached?
So I've done different coaching over the years, and I loved all of them. They all have taught me things over the years. Again, I started at the end of 2019. I was told, like, that was when I started. So 2020 was my very first solo year originating, which if you were in the mortgage industry, you didn't really have to do much. Like, boom, boom. You didn't have to do anything. But I met Cindy in 2025 at CMG Sales Summit. She was up on stage talking about coaching and growing your business, and not necessarily doubling your business, but just being more productive, like a day to day. And I mean, obviously, yes, the whole goal is to grow and expand. And I think I had my first call with her in February, and I knew immediately that I wanted to join. And so we did some one-on-one stuff, and then I'm part of her MME. So that is I think we started in April, and then it's April too. Like we're to the tail end of that one here soon. But I had never met anybody like her. I thought I was really good at what I did, and I was, but she makes you go start back from the basics, and you have to figure out, okay, what are you good at? What are you bad at? What do you need improvement with? So it's a very honest, you have to dig deep. And it took me a little bit. I would like listen, I'd sit on the calls, and I could tell I was like weary that the things that she was saying were actually going to work. I'm just one of those. I'm like, but it does. It did. So I did really well last year. My team did really well last year, but it's because we restructured and we reorganized and became very intentional on what I was doing. And I give all that credit to her. Because, and maybe, I mean, because what I was doing wasn't terrible. We were doing great numbers. We have great referral partners. Our clients give us screaming reviews at the end of it. But I was a mess. I was paper everywhere, I mean, she really taught me how to like reinvent the wheel in my own brain. I had to go back and be like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do this over.
Was that sort of
Let's
like
be
a
more
difficult,
productive.
was that a difficult like look in the mirror and to have to accept that, or did you kind of already know I gotta do something different because this is getting a little overwhelming?
I mean, I already knew I had to do something different if I wanted to continue to grow, as an LO, eventually as a branch manager, as a team lead, that I had to come up with better systems than what I had. I just didn't know how to get there. So she gives you all the tools and all the suggestions. I mean, and not all of them work for everybody. Everybody, picks what the things that she gives, and it works differently for everybody. But I wouldn't have been able to even get there had I not started with her. And again, intentional on what we're doing.
Yeah, I love intentional. That was my word of the year last year, and I guess it's always going to be in my vocabulary, right? But it's because it's so important, if you go through your day to day, sort of wandering through it and taking what comes your way, you're only going to get what's given to you versus getting what
Yeah.
you want. And
Mine
so
was
when you have
level
that
up.
intention,
My word
level
was
up.
level up. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, so as you continue to level up, which I personally, just from talking with you, getting to know you, I can clearly see that you're just going to have a upward trajectory from here. But what are the things that you're really trying to protect as your own, and the parts of the process that you want to keep for you?
That's like a trick question. I mean, different than what I'm already doing. Like, so level up to me is different. Level up is, again, not to go back to using the word intentional over and over and over, but leveling up is just making sure that what I'm doing better than I did last year. And then every year you're doing better. And it doesn't necessarily mean monetarily for me. Like if my team did the same numbers we did last year, would be fantastic. But for me, it's leveling up, making sure that my clients are getting the attention that they need, because buying a house is a big deal. Like we just do it every day. My team and I have this discussion all the time. Like we do this every day, and even if this is their third purchase, it's varied, it's different, but buying a house is a huge deal. I do a lot of military, I do a lot of first time home buyers for military, whether they're moving to the area, they're retiring and they've never bought a house because they've moved around. It's a big, big deal. So I make sure that they get my undivided attention and know that I know that it's a big deal. So for me, I leveling up for my team was we have to just be very genuine people at what we're doing because people are buying houses and we're not, I mean, we're lending out tons of money. And then with my referral partners, leveling up with them, just being there for them. Again, it's not just monetarily, it's not just open houses, but it's the relationship. I'm friends with a lot of my actually pretty much all of them. We are also good friends. So also being there on a friend level too, not just like, hey, you got a loan for me, you got a buyer for me. Like it's also just being a better friend and being a better person. And then it also falls back on my family too. My other word was legacy. Like, what is the legacy that I'm going to leave behind?
Yeah.
So I'm working on that as well.
Yeah. Well, so I love that you're like developing friendships with your referral partners. Do you find that that makes it more fulfilling for you, like, and meaningful? Or because I don't know, I mean, you seem like somebody who probably jumped right into like friendship. You make friends easily. Like, you seem like a very easy person to get along with. So I'm just curious if like you've felt that transition from transactional to those more like relational relationships, and if that's been a big shift for you.
Yes. I mean, I do have some referral partners it's strictly business and that's fine, but the longer you work with somebody too, you get to, you get to know them, you get to know their family, you get to know their kids and not necessarily do you hang out all the time, but it's not just transactional. It's not just like, okay, the Smiths are closing, they're good, they're approved for X amount. It's very much like how are you? How's your kids? How's your grandmother? How's your like you work with who you know, like and trust, right? So and also when they're referring me out, they're like, hey, Mel's a great person. She's a free, blah, 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 whatever it may be. I feel like that also helps too. Because I mean, and also I've learned this last, not everybody is your cup of tea and that's totally fine. I mean, we may not, right? Like we may not mesh. That's totally fine. That's okay too.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, right? Like, I
This
think
is
it's
like,
great to do business with the people you enjoy doing business with. So, and I love that because you mentioned this, just you keep that perspective of what a big deal it is to buy a home for the people. Like, you do it so often and it's repetitive for you throughout the year, but for that buyer, that might be the only house they ever buy. That might be, it's a huge deal, right? And or it might be the only transaction they make for years, right? And so I love that you keep that at the forefront because in their life, it's a
I mean, even people that
huge
have bought
milestone.
several houses too, life has changed. Things have changed so much. So we always make sure we go back to the basics of why we're asking for what we're asking for. We go over the whole process. And some people are like, cool, that's fine, it's great. But a lot of people like we take the time to explain, from the beginning to date why we're asking for this document. We do get asked that a lot. Like, why do you like what? So we just preemptively explain, okay, we need this because and it does just make the process much smoother. Because like you said, yes, it is. I don't give you own, well, maybe you own 5 houses. You're like a pro. You don't care, right? You buy all the investment properties. It's okay. But even then, it's still a big deal. It's still a big deal.
Yeah,
They're not
absolutely.
just
Well,
transactions. They're not just transactions to us. Like we look at it as families we've helped. Like if you asked me last year, I would not know transactions, but I can tell you how many families I helped because that's the way my team and I look at it is how many families have we helped buy a house, build generational wealth. That's the way that I look at it.
well, it comes through in a big way. Kind of as we wrap up here, for any loan officers that's listening and really trying to figure out like how can I get to where Melissa is, uh, what would be just some general advice that you would give someone who's really trying to figure out how they're going to grow their business and what to do next?
I think you take some time for yourself, right? Make sure your mental well being is good. For instance, mine was getting my butt up earlier in the morning and taking the time for myself in the morning. I'm still working on. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a 5 a.m. morning person. And then you pick what outlet works best for you, whether it's a social media, whether it's open houses, whether it's teaching the class, whatever it is that you are good at and just be consistent with it and you have to build the relationships and also when you also have to like your past clients that was something that I was also not great at. I just like, oh, they get my email, but really picking up the phone and reaching back out to my past clients like, how's your house, how's it going, and just being a resource for them. They may never buy again, they may never refi, the rates may stay ugly, they're not ugly, it's a joke, like, but at least they know that you cared, and then they might refer somebody over to you, but there's no secret sauce, right? Like I used to go to these sales events. I used to go like sit at the table with these top producers. And I like wanted to know what the secret was. There is no secret. There is no secret. You have to just continue what you're doing, be consistent, reach out. If you're trying to build referral partners, you have to reach out to them. You have to stay in front of them because, of course, everybody's doing that right now, right? It's beginning of the year. I talked to one agent the other day and she's like, dude, is it just embedded in lenders' brain that like on January 6th, we're going to call every agent we know? And I said, why? She said, I've gotten like 10 today. I said, delete them all. Delete all of them. But I said, kind of. I said, it's new year, right? We're all out here hustling, but you have to keep going and you have to figure out what works for you. Because what works for me may not work for you, and what worked for you may not work for me. I know that's like fairly vague, but and just
No, but you're
be
totally right.
consistent and stay with it. You have to stay the course because we have big months, we have slow months. Like we're busy right now with all the people that are coming in and transitioning. Like January wasn't a big number month for us, but I was like, we're out here, we're working, we're hustling, stay consistent, stay the course. My dad always says it, stay the course. Stay the
Yeah,
course. He tells me that every time I have a meltdown. Stay the course. It all pays off. So it's literally just that. And
yeah,
enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's hard. It's
yeah.
hard, but it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
thank you
you're
for it.
making a huge impact, and I love what you were saying about like keeping in touch with your past clients, because I kind of think of like the loan officer as the mayor of their own little community, right? Like, every new family that you help, every new person that you help buy a home is like they're moving into your new community, and you're the mayor. So you got to shake hands and kiss babies and do the whole thing and just keep the relationship up so they'll reelect you when the new election cycle comes, and make sure that you're staying top of mind.
Because you would be surprised how many people forget who you are. They
Yeah.
loved you. You did a great job, right? You got them the rate they wanted. You answered their call every time. Like they loved their house, but they get the mailers or they're talking to their coworker and they say, "Oh," and they're like, "Oh yeah," and not they forget. They don't forget on purpose. But I mean, how many loan officers? That's different. That's a trick question for you. How many loan officers do you know? But in general, like if I go to a networking meeting and I'm a loan officer in the room, and I were to, meet, Adam the painter, how many loan officers do you think he knows? How many realtors do you think he knows? So that's the same for public. How many? So you have to stay in front of them, and you have to say, and not necessarily like, "Hey, give me a deal," but they're also you also built a relationship with them. I mean, we did a last summer. We just kind of called and did a check in. We emailed, text, and called just to kind of see what responses we were going to get through which platform. And a lot of just reaching out like, hey, just checking in. It's spring. It was spring. Like spring cleaning is coming. Do if you just keep me in mind, you need a painter or this, that. So many of my clients and like, oh my gosh, yes, we're getting our basement done and we need a blah, blah. So you're also there as a resource for them. Even if again, they never buy a house again, they never refinance again, but then they will remember that you were there for them, not just to be like, hey, do you need a loan? They're like my lender also helped me with. I had small short story. I had a lady call me the day she closed 2 years ago, and there was some sort of with her escrow account. There was like a crossover, and so it didn't get renewed, and they put the auto renewal on her. And she literally actually gave me the like. I was talking to her. She was like, "I just have to tell you that like I feel like I'm glad I picked you as a loan officer because no one else would have talked to me at 9 o'clock at night. Literally FaceTimed her in my jammies because she's like, I need you to see my screen. I'm not understanding." She was just very appreciative. That's who I
Yeah.
am. I will
Hey,
FaceTime you in my jammies if that's what it takes to help you solve whatever issue you have.
that is the loan officer life, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, well, hey, on that note, Melissa, I just want to say thank you for being a part of the lowdown, just sharing like your story and some insights and wisdom and just kind of what you're up to. Like, I think it's great to hear from loan officers like you to know what it takes. And I just appreciate you being open and being a part of this today.
I appreciate you having me. I know I didn't give
Yeah.
any like, great total feedback different than, but I appreciate you having me for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wish you the best
Your words of
and
wisdom.
good luck to you
Thanks.
out there. Thank you.